Actually, let's change into something a bit more relevant. That's better. So, if you're watching this video, then I've done something that terrifies me more than playing in front of 1,000 people. Today, I've disappeared into complete darkness for 7 days. And if you're wondering why anyone would choose to spend 7 days in total in pitch black isolation with no phone, no music, no light, no time, just willingly sitting alone with their thoughts for a week, then in this video I'm going to walk you through what a darkness retreat is and why I'm doing it. The mental and emotional challenges that comes with being completely alone, and how this ancient practice could help to reconnect with the passion that got buried under all of the distractions. Because have you ever noticed how loud your life has become? Notifications, deadlines, gear reviews, practice routines, Reddit forums, Patreon tabs, it's constant. And for so many of us, especially guitarists like you and me, most of it is just a noise. Perhaps even this video itself. It's a distraction from what's truly underneath. All of the suppressed emotions over the years. In a darkness retreat, you're alone in a completely light-proof room. No phone, no books, just food delivered quietly once a day. That's why anything that's been buried underneath starts coming up to the surface. The walls of your identity start to melt. It might get boring at first, or uncomfortable, or even terrifying. Whatever it is, it's just your brain showing you what it wants you to see. Your mind might start running laps around everything you've been avoiding. And that's where the magic happens. You begin to witness your own inner narrative. The one that could be saying, "You're not improving fast enough. You'll never be good enough to share your music. You weren't born with enough talent." These voices are the same ones many of my students wrestle with on their guitar journey. But thanks to the day-to-day chaos and loudness, these voices don't get loud enough. And that's why often what keeps them stuck isn't their fingers, it's what's going on in their mind. If we look back, we'll see that the darkness retreats come from traditions thousands and thousands years ago. This idea of voluntary darkness could be found in Tibetan Buddhism, ancient Egypt, even some indigenous tribes. Darkness was used as a tool for clarity, not chaos. They believe that cutting off external stimulations unlocks your internal compass. And honestly, that's my aim as well. To see what I'm meant to see. To feel what I'm meant to feel. A reconnection to why I do what I do. And who I am when I'm not performing for anyone. Luckily, I'll be taking a guitar with me as well, but it needs to be an acoustic one. So it'll be interesting to hear what melodies and songs I'll be coming up with naturally. As the only person hearing it, it's me in the complete darkness. I'm talking about pitch black. The healing remedies comes from its absoluteness. Darkness where you can't see your hand in front of your face, where there's no difference between open eyes or closed eyes, and the only sound is your heartbeat getting louder by the hour. As most of us, we practice in rooms full of light and distractions. We've got our phones buzzing, music playing in the background, maybe the TV on as well. But what if we removed all of that? What if we strip away every single external input your brain relies on to stay distracted? And that would be interesting. So that's another reason why I'm doing it as well. But from what I've read, as our brains weren't designed for complete sensory deprivation, it can start fighting back in ways you can't even imagine. Apparently within the first 2 days, your body starts producing massive amounts of melatonin, the same hormone that regulates sleep. But here is what's really happening. Your default mode network starts shutting down. That's the part of your brain that runs the constant mental chatter. You know, the voice that whispers, "You're going to mess up this solo," right before you play it. The same voice that tells you there is no harm in skipping a day of practice as nothing will happen. In darkness, that mental chatter has nowhere to hide. You can't scroll through your phone or turn on Netflix. Every fear, every doubt, every piece of self-criticism you've been running away from suddenly becomes the loudest things in the room. Your nervous system shifts into deep repair mode. It's like your body finally gets permission to process years of buried tension and suppressed emotions. You can think of it like defragmenting a hard drive. All those scattered files of stress and fear start organizing themselves into something you can actually work with. This is complete reset of how your mind processes life, interactions and emotions. It's like taking apart your mental operating system and rebuilding it from the ground up. Apparently, the really interesting part happens around day 4 or 5. If I'll make it that far, as you're able to leave at any time, your body and brain might start to think you must be dead and start acting like it has happened and start to release hormones that are closely connected with dying. And that's just the beginning of what 7 days in darkness can unleash. Because here's the hard truth about darkness retreats. Your worst enemy isn't the darkness itself, it's what shows up when the darkness forces you to stop running. When external distractions disappear, every fear and self-doubt you've been avoiding comes flooding back. Think of it like this: your mind is like a messy garage that you've been throwing stuff into for years. You know, there's junk in there, but as long as you can close the door and avoid looking at it, it doesn't bother you. Darkness retreat absolutely smashes that door. The same voice that whispers you're not good enough during guitar solos becomes deafening in complete silence, as that's the only thing you might be able to hear. In darkness, every limiting belief you've ever had about yourself, your playing, your talent, your worth as a musician and human being, they all show up at once, whether you want it or not. Think of it like the rawest date with yourself that you could have, as there is nowhere to run when your mind starts cycling through decades of would've, could've. People who've done this describe confronting perfectionism that's been controlling their lives for years, for example. The imposter syndrome that whispers you weren't born talented enough. Those creative blocks that show up whenever you try to write your own music or improvise freely. The breakthrough comes when you stop running from these thoughts and start observing them like clouds just passing by. You realize that I'm going to mess this up is just a thought, not prediction. Everyone will judge me is just a mental noise, not reality. The fear of making mistakes is just an old pattern, not a truth about your abilities. So whether you do any similar type of retreats or not, it's important to confront these thoughts and come in peace with them. They won't ever fully disappear, but at least they won't control your hands anymore. You notice the self-doubt without being paralyzed by it. You hear the inner critic without believing every word it says. This is exactly the skill that separates confident players from those who freeze up while they're playing. The ability to feel nervous and play anyway. To notice perfectionist thoughts and keep the music flowing. To observe your mental patterns without being hijacked by them. I always think back of the time I performed in front of John Petrucci, Chris Broderick, Jason Richardson, Tosin, Barsi, basically all the players I look up to. The version of Pull Me Under was purposely designed to throw me off, and that's where I've realized how important it is to just keep going. Because most guitarists spend years practicing scales and technique, as they can't bear the fact that they could make a mistake. And that's exactly what will keep holding them back. Sometimes the biggest breakthrough happens when you stop practicing and start facing what's been holding you back all along instead. In 7 days, I'll be back, maybe more enlightened than in this moment. Whether I gained profound insight or simply learned something valuable about facing my deepest fears, both outcomes will teach me something I probably won't be able to learn any other way. So if you've been stuck with your playing despite years of practicing, maybe the answer isn't another technique video. Maybe it's confronting what's really been holding you back in any way that's comfortable for you. I'll document everything and post another video when I return. So thank you so much for being here and allowing me to share this with you. Any empowering thoughts that you send my way over the next week will be appreciated. Keep the guitar alive, keep pushing your limits, as sometimes the brightest moments happen in the darkest places.